Greetings, Morgan County High School seniors and parents. We'd like to congratulate you on reaching your senior year. We know college prep and scholarship searches are stressful, and this video is to ease your stress and show you how to apply for our 2022 CFMC scholarships. First and foremost, we'd like to say thank you to our fund holders who generously make these scholarships happen. This year, our scholarships range from $500 to $5,000 individually. The funds will be sent directly to your chosen university for scholars who are chosen for each of these scholarships. The scholarship applications are open Friday, November 11th, and will close promptly at 4 p.m. Friday, January 21st. There are no exceptions to this deadline. Seniors, you'll want to start your application early to allow ample time for your guidance counselor to send back your high school transcript and for your references to have enough time to complete their portions. Keep in mind, some scholarships also require essays, and we suggest completing those in Word, allowing others to proofread, and then you can copy and paste them into your essay portion. So let's start an application. First and foremost, you'll visit our website at cfmconline.org. Welcome to our website. Next, you'll hover over scholarships and click on CFMC scholarships. You can see that submissions open tomorrow on November 12th, and then you'll select Apply Now. And if you have specific questions or want to see what scholarships you would qualify for, you can also download our guide, which gives the description of each scholarship and the amounts. So if you're ready to apply, you'll hit Apply Now. Your guidance counselors will also be receiving this information, and they can be a tool and resource for you as well. And should you have any questions, you're always welcome to give us a ring at 765-813-0003. Okay, so let's begin an application. This is the homepage for the 2022 scholarship application. You'll read through all of this information and hit apply. If you have already started an application, you'll sign in. Know that you can save your application process at any time and come back to it. Our CFMC scholarships are open to any Morgan County student who lives in Morgan County. You can attend other schools outside of Morgan County as long as you are a resident within Morgan County. So you'll create a new account, being new to us. For example, I'm going to sign in because I've logged in before. And this is where you'll begin completing the information. So if you're from either of these high schools, that's what you'll select. If you're a non-traditional student, that's what you'll select. If you attend another school, like a private school, you'll just select Other. Let us know if you're currently in the process of applying to college. And here is an example of some of the scholarships that are available as a Morgan County student. I will read through these, see which ones I am eligible for. So for example, I'll select the Benjamin Elo Memorial Scholarship, and then I'll hit Next. For each scholarship that you apply for, you'll have additional information and further steps. I'll enter my name and my information. I do go by Jessica. And then I'll describe myself in 1 or 2 sentences. Any fields that are marked with asterisks are required information. I enter my email address. One thing I would note for you, I would recommend setting up a separate email address that you have access to beyond when you have graduated high school. The reason I say that is in the fall semester, so you graduate in May, come fall, you will no longer have access to that high school email, but we may still need to be in contact with you about your scholarships. So I highly recommend that you set up a separate email address that you'll use other than your high school email address you currently have, because you may also not yet have a college email address to work out of. I'll enter my street address, city, zip code, and parent or guardian's full name. Next. Okay, if you remember on a previous page, I selected that I'm in process of applying for schools. If you have not applied to any yet, please tell us specifically, I have not applied yet. If I have, then I'll enter my universities in which I have currently applied. You have space for more than one. I'll tell if I've been accepted yet. So acceptance pending means I've applied, but I haven't heard back. If you have been accepted to universities, this is where you'll put it in this box. And what's your intended major? What's your degree you choose? Next. This is where you'll enter your current college transcript if you are a non-traditional student. This would be for students who already have college credits or are currently in college while they're also in their senior year of high school. As you can see, this is not a required field. So if this does not apply to you or you do not have a college transcript, it's quite okay. Next. Every scholarship has the general essay. How do you plan on paying for college? How will this scholarship affect your ability to go to college? And you can see the other questions. This is your opportunity to share who you are, what you're about, what you believe in, and if there's any barriers that you're experiencing to get to college and get it paid for. I would highly recommend that you start any of your essays in a Word document. This way you can use spell check and also have other sets of eyes to proofread and make sure that it's grammatically correct too. Note, you can always save your application and come back to this at a later time. Next, you have a maximum word number of 300 for your essay. And at the bottom, you'll see of those essays, you'll see where it shows a maximum word number if this is the case. Extracurricular activities. This is where you'll put what you've been involved in. For example, you can see as I hover, marching band, Spanish club, etc. Again, there's an asterisk, so it's a required field. This is where you'll enter any work experience that you've had. If you have not been working while you've been in school, that's okay. Just place not applicable. Oops. Spelling matters. Also, if you've been volunteering, let us know. We'd like to know more about you. Here are some examples: Buddy Walk or even Habitat for Humanity. If you haven't, you're always welcome to put not applicable or leave it blank since there's not a red asterisk. Because of the scholarship that I selected in the beginning, it may have additional essays that are specific to that scholarship. So for example, this essay is asking me to tell me about who I am explain what I want to do in the future, and describe past experiences that have had an impact on me. Why am I deserving of a scholarship? Don't be afraid to sound confident and tell your story. We'd like to hear your personality and your needs. Again, always recommended to start on a Word doc, spell check, and also have a second and third set of eyes. Again, this essay has a max number of words of 750. Word will track that for you, and you can see this max word number in any of the essay boxes. Your scholarships will require a primary reference and potentially additional references depending on the scholarship you are applying for. They can be a teacher, employer, coach, pastor, scout leader, or any other mentor in your life who can provide feedback on who you are as a person, your work ethic, and your potential to succeed in college. This cannot come from someone related to you. So you'll enter their information here, their email address. Now note that they will receive a separate email from this system, and it will be asking them to complete their reference information. Once they complete that from the email that they receive, it will automatically link to your application. Be sure to remind them of the January 21st deadline at 4 p.m. There are no exceptions to this, and they are responsible for this portion. And it will be your responsibility to remind them of this deadline. Once done, hit next. It will once again remind you that it will send an email to your reference and to please notify the recipient about this request that it is incoming. If they don't receive it, we can always send it again. And when you save this application and log back in, you can always see if it's been received or not. Okay. Here's my section for scholarship-specific questions. Here's a section for me to share any other additional information about myself with the committee members who may review my application and potentially choose me as a scholar. This is also the section to explain any financial need that you have to help pay for your university. Again, max word 500. Because I selected the Benjamin Elo Memorial Scholarship, it asked me for a specific essay for this scholarship. The question is, how does my faith affect how I live and the choices I make? Looks like it's a maximum number of words of 500. So I can start it in Word, spell check it, have others look at it for me, and then I can copy it and paste it into this section. I'll also be required to submit an additional reference per the scholarship. So I'll enter their information here. Once again, this one's looking specifically from a coach, and it cannot come from someone related to you. This is just like your high school transcript. It will send them an email and ask them to complete this information, and also just like your other reference. You'll be responsible for reminding them of the January 21st deadline, and there are no exceptions, again, to this deadline. This scholarship also requires a church leader reference, and that's where I will enter their information. Again, an email is sent to them, and I'll need to remind them of the January 21st deadline. They can follow the email that they receive from the system, complete their portion, and once they hit submit, it links back to your application. Then next, it moves on to additional scholarships that I have selected and any information that they may need from me specific to that scholarship. Looks like the Meredith Nieper Scholarship didn't require any additional information. So this is where I'll read through the information and attest that this was me and everything that I entered into my application is ethical and true to its information. And I actually found out about my scholarship from my high school. So I'll hit school and next. GPA auto score doesn't complete in this because I didn't have information I needed to enter. That can come from my high school transcript that my guidance counselor will send. And like you saw before, they'll get that email to be able to link my transcript and send it here into my application. Okay, so now that I've completed everything, I've made sure all the fields are entered, I am ready to submit my application. Now, one thing to note, if you missed any required fields, you'll get a notification and it will take you specifically to that spot. So getting this confirmation box tells me that I've got everything completed, I'm good to go, and I feel good about it. So I'm going to hit OK. And while this is submitting, I'm going to make a note of what I used as my username and my password, because while my application is not complete, it means it's in the pending status. That means that my references and my high school guidance counselor who received the email to submit my transcript need to complete those portions and send it back via the email they received from the system. So that's why it says it's in a pending status. And I just hit OK. Now I can always look into my status. I could even click on my application and see it. And I can use this information for other scholarships that I may be applying to elsewhere. My guidance counselors at my high schools will have that information for other scholarships that are available. And if I ever need to edit my application, this is where I do that. So the reminder is that the deadline is Friday, January 21st at 4 p.m. And then January through April, CFMC will be working with their scholarship committees to select scholars. And then we'll be attending scholarship award nights, usually in May, at each high school to award the scholars for each of these scholarships. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our phone number is 765-813-0003, or you're welcome to email us at jschwarz, SCHWARZ, at cfmconline.org. Jessica is our scholarship coordinator, and she will be able to answer any questions that you have. So once again, congratulations on your senior year and congratulations on your college application process.